But one thing he did ask me, and, maybe today is the day to partially turn to optimism, partially turn that way while still reflecting and still looking back on what happened and what went wrong and what players are saying about it. He asked some version of, is there a feeling of, will it ever happen? Mm-hmm. Are you starting to really doubt if it will ever happen for the Bills? And my answer to that was an easy, well, I don't think this is the best team they ever brought to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it was different. It was built different ways, but it wasn't their best roster they've ever had. And I
that's right.
Yeah, it was like that, as simple as that. I remember what might have been December. I'll go back and find it. We put up a Twitter poll, is this the Bills' best team under Sean McDermott and Josh Allen of this era? I don't remember what the results were. I feel like 60% said no, that they're really good, but it might not be their best team. And, of course, it's not as easy as the best team you have is going to be the one that wins it. But what percentage of Bills fans don't expect them to be better, in finger quotes, next year? Better roster, better something. I don't know about a better result. I don't know about a better record. But aren't you pretty confident they will have a better roster next year?
I'm very confident of
Who's
that.
the biggest piece that's leaving?
Rasul Douglas.
And Amari Cooper.
And Cooper, right?
And
guys that I might think are aged out anyway, to some extent.
It's to me, it's not hard at all to envision them and us liking their roster better.
There's no Tremaine Edmonds is leaving, and we don't know what it's going to look like afterwards.
There's not even a John Feliciano is leaving. There's not even
the line is here.
Yeah. Like
the offense is really here, except for Cooper, right?
And
Hollins.
And Mac Hollins, who I'm sure you could have back.
But the rest of it is all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think – and that's where my focus would be is getting better is the offensive personnel. And if everything is staying and I'm expecting to add a little bit there, like I'm expecting that to look better. The defense, I guess, right. Douglas is out. Hamlin started all year and he's out, but I would be surprised if they didn't just plug Cole Bishop in there. If you listen to Sal, it sounds like what their plan maybe was all year for Bishop. Like he's not going to start right away. And maybe they'll get him in as the season goes on, but they don't want to throw a rookie right into it. So what would the plan have been? Let's slow play it, and then, hey, year 2, maybe he goes in and he's the starter. So Bishop for Hamlin's not like a downgrade. I might even hope that that's an upgrade, right? And more splash plays, more athleticism. There just really isn't. Unless they're planning on, cutting Matt Milano, and I've got to reset there. I don't think there's a thing. There's not a Vaughn. Right?
Vaughn
will be out the door, and he was okay.
He'll be replaced by a first-round defensive end that I think will maybe not be Von Miller legacy-wise, but will can the first-round defensive end not produce what Vaughn did this year?
Right. That's why there's no, to your point, there's no position where I would expect the Bills are worse next year than they were this year.
Yeah, they just
one position.
They just went through a massive change where we wondered about, look at the turnover at receiver, look at the turnover at safety, look at what they've done at running back, deciding Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. And, there was turnover. And this year, it will just be more about bolstering. So with 1 first-round pick and 2 seconds and a third and 2 fourths and 1 fifth and
do they have their third, or they traded away for Cooper?
Traded away for Cooper. You're right. Sorry. They have 2 seconds.
But 2 seconds.
A first and 2 seconds. They traded their third for Cooper, which I'm not going to get upset about.
No.
They did that. It's fine.
Late third-round pick.
It's a very late third. And they have the Bears 4th, by the way. So they're picking 2 picks later.
Okay, so they
right.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm not too worried about that. Actually, no. The Bears had a decent season. They won 4 or 5 games, right? Where are the Bears picking? I don't know the draft order yet. That's how it's not the full offseason.
You don't know the draft order?
The Titans pick first.
Who's picking 5th?
No idea.
No idea? All right, it's not the offseason until you can answer that question.
That's right. The Titans pick first, and that's all I know. The Patriots are 3rd.
The Patriots are 3rd. The Bears pick 8th.
Okay, well
Bills, it's pretty high.
Yeah, so the Bills have the 8th pick of the 4th round because they have the Bears 4th.
Vegas picks 5th, by the way. If you're interested.
Okay, there you go. But anyway, I'm not trying to gloss over it or go rose-colored glasses or anything like that. I listened back to our show yesterday. I listened to the afternoon show, and frustration mounts for sure. But I almost wanted to make a distinction between last year was the frustration of the first window, being over.
Yeah.
And now we've just entered the second window, and you're not even losing your offensive coordinator. Like
Right.
that could be a thing where, well, we're going to have to see how it works with whoever got that job. Instead, he just comes back. And Dawson Knox is saying the offense is going to have the same kind of mentality. We'll see if it looks the same. We'll see what other pieces maybe they throw in there. But, it's a team that I expect to have better players next year. Mm-hmm. And with that, I expect Brandon Beane to not necessarily pursue 8 players, but really go after some with one big prize in mind.
Yeah, they don't need a volume of players. Like if they have some ability to spend a little bit of money this year, it's like 2 guys. Like you're going to fill in some of these spots too with draft picks, right? Like you're going to want a first-round pick to contribute somewhere, I would hope, and you'll have your 2 seconds, unless you're using one of those or one of those picks in a trade. We just kind of went through it. Where do you need to be better? You need to be better maybe with one other better pass rusher than Von Miller. You want to upgrade from Von Miller. You want to upgrade from Amari Cooper. You want to upgrade from Rasul Douglas, right? The 3 guys that are a little bit past their prime, you would like to say, okay, Cooper, great career. You did fine the half season you were here. Douglas, same thing. 1.5 years, good job. Von, the injury disrupted it. You guys all are good to move on, and we're going to go for younger and better. And corner, defensive end, receiver. Bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
Whether that's maybe one of those or 2 of those or a draft pick and the other one's a big splash move in the offseason. Like, to me, that would be the offseason that I would hope and expect that they're going to have. The only thing is with the offensive point.
You said corner what? Edge and receiver?
Corner, edge, and receiver.
Okay, also a massive amount of capital into defensive tackle.
Okay.
I think they're going to want to go big there.
Okay. That's probably right. So just the defensive line then.
Sure. Multiple pieces of depth, too. Like, no more it's October and we're snagging 2 guys off of waivers.
Right.
Which has happened multiple seasons.
Right.
I'm always wanting to bring up Linval Joseph.
Linval Joseph, yeah.
Not exactly a big, bit player for the Bills, but still.
No.
Right. Corner, defensive, finger quotes, overhaul. They might have a few new starters on that side of the ball, and the offense might have 1.
Yeah. I have the Chiefs in mind, though, even a little bit when thinking about like what I would want them to get. And, okay, they had some poor tackles this year. I didn't feel like the Bills they didn't take advantage of that.
Right.
I mean, part of that was Greg Rousseau. I think by all accounts I'm seeing had a bad day, a really bad day, and he was your number 1 edge rusher, so that hurts. But another guy would be good if that's a weakness of theirs at any point in the future. Like, I'd like to be able to take advantage of that. Another corner that is more athletic than 31-year-old Rasul Douglas that could cover Xavier Worthy in space if I need it. And a receiver that if they're going to dare me to throw to the outside and I can get big plays over the middle, but I can't really on the boundary, add somebody that has the speed of the guy they just drafted last year. Like, I've got them in mind for a lot of this. The only thing I would worry about, not even worry about, just I wonder how much they'll act on that Dawson Knox clip when we're coming in. Like, hope we keep the same mindset as an offense. No selfishness, whatever, from last year or from this past season to the next year. And I kind of hope they don't really worry about that. I kind of hope, like, if they don't know, if they thought they had the money and to go pay T. Higgins and he wanted to come here, I would hope that they wouldn't turn the other cheek on him as an idea because they didn't know if he was going to want the ball or not.
Right.
Like, sure, if one guy is like volatile and if you don't want George Pickens because there's a lot that comes with that.
Sure.
There's some extreme examples where I'd be like, okay, that's acceptable. But if you don't want a number 1 because you don't want a number 1, like that is the one thing I just hope they don't do this summer.
Yeah, I've got some stuff written down to talk about, to bring up with regard to that, about Kincaid here and all their weapons and the way we talk about them. So that's a big part of it.